Hi everybody, we're back. It is refresh message number 2, Thursday, June 11th, and our subject is fear and desire. Let's read John 13 verses 34 to 35. This is the divine responsibility we spoke about earlier. A new commandment, Jesus said, I give to you, that you love one another, as I have loved you, that you also love one another. By this, all will know that you are my disciples if you have love for one another. Now, this is not a law in the normal sense of a human law. It is not done with mere human effort. It is not legalism. Instead, it is a divine authorization, a divine commission, a divine empowerment or enablement. Many are confused by this. I think it's a simple point. Many think that any kind of divine responsibility, any kind of command, any kind of required action is legalism by definition. It's a legalistic thing. You have to do something. However, because there is the divine empowerment we're talking about, there's a flow of power from Jesus to us when He says words to us. If our heart is open to it, not only do we receive instruction, we receive the divine power of God, the dunamis power of God. Then this is the opposite of legalism. Not only is it the opposite of legalism, it's the only way, because it's lifting up by this empowerment, by this dunamis, by this grace. It's lifting us up to a higher plane of functioning. We're functioning with His power now. It is in reality the only way that we can avoid legalism, or living. Legalism would be equivalent to just living by plain, ordinary, everyday human effort. As well intentioned as it might be, nevertheless, it's just human effort. Therefore, because this lifestyle of love by the power of God is on a different plane, then along with it comes the blessing of God, comes the reward, the favor, the success, the prosperity, the loving of life and seeing good days. So scriptures that associate this responsibility with blessing on our life, they're, as I've said on Sunday, they're just in book after book, Matthew, Mark, right through to Revelation. It's the same message. It's the essence of the Word. It's what every letter boils down to. It's what God is constantly saying to us. And here's just a few examples. Matthew 6:33. And again, some of these are familiar. My purpose is to remind you to be stirring up your righteous minds, to be helping bring some focus to your day. If your days are like mine, they can be very busy, thinking of dozens of different things. We can easily lose our focus. Our purpose in these few minutes we spend together is just to refocus, to refresh, to make sure that we're square and we're looking at exactly what God is saying to us. Matthew 6:33, but seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness. Put Him first, His agenda, His plan, His lifestyle. Seek first His kingdom, His righteousness. All these things will be added to you. That is particularly talking about material blessing. We know there's many other blessings other than material blessings. There are many blessings more important than material blessings. However, that is one of them, and I think it's one that most of us appreciate. Matthew 7, again in the Sermon on the Mount, verses 24 to 25. Therefore, whoever hears these sayings of mine and does them, these would be the various commands of Jesus, all fitting into that first command we read in John 13 about loving one another. Everything Jesus said was about loving one another in some form or fashion. Whoever hears these sayings of mine and does them, I will liken him to a wise man who built his house on the rock. And the rain descended, the floods came, and the winds blew, and they beat on that house, and it did not fall, for it was founded on a rock. So regardless of the troubles of life, and there are troubles, there will be troubles, regardless of what they are, they cannot defeat a person who simply believes and acts upon the words of Jesus. Now, the final one we'll look at today is Romans 8:13. For if you live according to the flesh, you will die. As we pointed out on Sunday, this is about you personally. It's not about me. If I'm reading this for me, then it's all about me. If you're reading it, then it's all about you. If a third person is reading it, it's all about them. If you live according to the flesh, you will die. That's speaking of spiritual death. But if by the Spirit you put to death the deeds of the body, you will live. That is the abundant life. That's the life that Jesus spoke about. And it comes simply through us following, listening to, obeying what He has for us. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you next time.